Right, morning guys, welcome back to the channel. So we are down here today to try and make some progress. First thing, these seats. Look at them. The lighting's a bit better today. So here's your before shot. There's the other one. So we've got Hoover, wet vac, and loads of different products, loads of chemicals. So I'm going to try and clean them up. I'm also going to do a little bit of work on the transit, so I might rewire that relay that is causing me problems with starting it. But yeah, welcome along, and we'll see how it looks by the end of today. Okay, so whilst Lou's been doing the seats, I wanted to get this A-frame off. So I've got the nuts and bolts all undone under here. Look at the state of this. The wiring is a bit mental. People have been in and out of this, chopping things in, chopping things out. We've also found a dreaded Scotch block. Anyone who knows anything about anything knows that you don't use Scotch blocks for anything because they're shit. We've got this bit of cabling here. I've opened up the sheathing on that. Now that is pretty standard normal wiring from the factory. I'm basically going to end up just cutting this, which is going to be the quickest and easiest way to get this all off. I want the A-frame to sit a little bit higher so that the light, because I want to put a modern light on it, so I'm going to put a beacon on it similar to what I've got on Ronnie, so like a slimline LED one. I think it'll just look a lot better. I know everyone will want me to put a normal rotating beacon one, but they just look aids. They're not very good at all. What I want is this A-frame to sit a little bit higher. So I'm going to make up some brackets, probably just to raise it by about 2 inches, just so that sits a little bit higher. This wiring round here, all three of these wires have got the same identification colouring on them, which would say to me that somebody has fitted that aftermarket. And it's all really sketchy how it's all held together, but it won't be when I finish with it. So I'm going to cut those, but I need to mark them off first for when I put them back together. But I'm going to end up testing all the electrics anyway to see what is doing what, because I've got no idea. I know that probably on that left hand side, the stuff that's in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 6 core, so that'll control all my lights along the bar there. Not really sure what that does though on the right. I'm imagining that that's going to be the lights, the controls, or the supply for the beacon on the top. So it's all a voyage of discovery really. We'll just play around with it, get the multimeter out. Stuff up my nose. Top tip, you don't want to cut them in the same place, because when you put them all back together, you don't want all the joins to be in the same place. Feeling strong. How weird does that look? Proper weird. Right, there's the A-frame. So A-frame's off. A little bit of rust on the top here. So we'll get the nylon grinding wheel out and get this fixed up. Yeah, I think then this is going to be then sprayed the same colour as this. So at the minute we've got these LED strips on it. Well, but they're in such bad condition, look. Wow, they're just so old, look at them. Right, should we have a seat update? How's the seats looking? Oh well. Oh, look at that. They're coming up alright, aren't they? The other one that hasn't been done just yet. Oh, look at that. Wow. Okay, I've got the old lights out now. So everything's stripped. I've cut everything because I'm going to rewire it. So here's the old loom for the light bar with all its added extra crap. So I want to get these strip lights off now. Hopefully they'll come off okay and can be replaced. But these, I'm going to replace these with modern LED ones. I know the purists amongst you will probably go, no, you should keep it original, but you know what? It's lights and they look better and they're safer. Yeah, so now I need to rip these out. Now all the heads, all the threads here are all knackered. So I need to cut those off quickly. So grinder is coming out and we'll get those whipped off. I've got these strips off now so I can clean up behind here. This last screw wouldn't come out, but they're getting replaced, so I've broken off. Cleaned all this rust off, all the surface rust. It's left a little bit of pitting in there, but do you know what? No one's going to see that. And I've covered it in graphene anti-corrosion primer, that's the stuff. So that won't rust again. I'm going to clean the rest of it up over the next couple of days. There's obviously our new bonnet that needs to go on. So we thought what we would do is start to prep for paint. Now, as with everything with this thing, the further you dig, the more you take off, the more you find. And we're finding stuff. Well, Lou is doing a job that I hate, which is masking up all the windows, everything. So we're all masked off on this side. We've got the mirrors are off and they're all inside. Here comes the good stuff. So we've started stripping the front end. Bonnet's going to come off in a minute. Yeah, as you can see, all the lights are off. We had one of the, that's for the indicator securing bolt there, and it has these little clips that go on it, and that little clip is what secures the headlight. Well, that snapped when I was undoing it, so I'm going to need to drill that out and replace it. And then, so as I've mentioned before, right, the big issue with this Transit is it overheats. The cooling side is terrible. Wait there, I'm going to go and get a torch. As I've told you before, the big issue with this Transit is the cooling side of it, right? It doesn't cool very well. It overheats really, really quickly. It's always something I wanted to revamp. I wanted to sort it out, especially if I'm going to be taking this to shows in the summer. I wanted it to be like, I want it to run well, don't I? Obviously. Now, as you can see, what we've got, so this is, well, clearly, look at the size of the core. So if you look at the thickness of that, it should be, what we need is, rather than having these two fans, so someone's put these two fans in, rather than having those two, I think it would run better with a thicker core. I bet this is full of sludge as well. Ultimately, this needs to come off. I don't like these fans. These have been like tied through the radiator, which not a huge fan of that, if I'm honest. But then the best bit is when you look at the wiring. So some bits, oh, stay there. Right, so look, this is the first bit I found with solder on. That's nice. Hasn't really fully penetrated the core, and it's also, there's quite a lot of bits missing. We've got some crazy bend radiuses going on here. This has obviously been heated up so much whilst it was being soldered that it's become brittle and it's cracked. And then we've got just random, I mean, look at this. Not to mention the Scotch blocks I found. Oh, and then there's this absolute belter. Look at that. No tape, no nothing. That's been exposed for years. Can you see it? Can't really see it. But anyway, it's a mess. So this, I don't even know what that does. Well, that's just an earth. So yeah, nice one. Decent on the earth there. Good work, guys, good work. So yeah, do you know what? It's time to just bite the bullet, innit? I didn't want to be stripping the radiator, pulling the radiator off now. I've also found this random cable that runs from the left-hand headlight to the right-hand headlight. This was just jammed in here. Haven't really worked out yet why, but I'm sure something won't work when I put it back together. Either way, I'm not going to piss around. It's all going to get rewired anyway. So that's just a rainy day's job, really. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get that radiator out. I'm going to go and have a chat with, there's a place in Lincoln, I think, that does like a radiator specialist. I'm going to take it along, see if we can get it like record or maybe a new one based on those dimensions, because obviously it fits nicely in there, but we just want the best cooling we can get. So it's been, we've achieved loads. Do you know what? Look, we're almost ready for paint. Obviously we've got to sand the cab. The A-frame is off, obviously, as you've seen. It's over there. We're finding more stuff, but I keep saying to myself, we're doing this right. I've always said that, we're doing it right. So as I find stuff, it's just got to be fixed. I'm not glossing over stuff. And do you know what? When we get to this point and that radiator's out and the bumper's off, look what we're exposed to. So it kind of makes sense to just pull the engine out as well, I think. I think it would be silly to get this far to have it completely, I mean, look at that. Exposed. We'll get there, won't we? Yeah, I got to be honest with you, especially with my little sabbatical I'm going on over to America. I can't see this being ready for a show season this year, unless I bring it on the back of Ronnie. But do you know what? When you do see it, it's going to be mint. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be running well.
Little Lucifer, hold on. Little Lucifer, the days yet to come. Little Lucifer, little Lucifer, and miles to walk.
See the colour of that? Not good, eh? Right, we've definitely done the right thing here for getting this piece of shit off. Look at the state of this. How old do you think that is? So radiator's out. And we're going to call it there. So I'm going to get that down to the radiator place, see what they think. They're the experts, see what they think is the best way we can get it cooled, because that was not, did you see the crap that came out of it? Unreal. So that radiator, I reckon the core of that is absolutely shot. So no wonder it overheats. Look at this beast. Right, cheers guys, say goodbye.
Don't look before